Hey, how's it going, guys? We are back with more reactions for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This time on to episode number 4 of season 5. Last time, what did we have? What did we have? Well, I can remember quite a few things. I just don't know which one to actually start off with. We had Abby and Gemma. Gemma actually worked with Abby. She was chosen by Cassius to actually help kind of um, under very, very, very short notice to actually help prepare the Inhuman child Abby in preparation for her kind of ceremonial kind of performance of showing off her powers and proving herself to be like a powerful, talented Inhuman and stuff. And she had the powers of like actual controlling her molecular density and her stuff, so she could either go really, really kind of, fluid and phase through things, or she could go really, really, really solid and actually end up, putting holes and breaking things, which she did. She broke a vase, she broke the floor, she broke a dude to death and everything, so that happened, but she had been kind of like her family had been paid off and everything because of her powers and her abilities and everything, and then she'd been kind of handed off to, I think, Lady Barsha was her name, Lady Barsha, so she. Again, no confirmation as to what's actually going to happen to her, but I did not get the very best vibes from that entire kind of scene and that entire kind of context and everything, so God knows what they're going to do. God only knows what they're going to do to her, so that was a not so happy kind of ending for her. I mean, she survived, but still, what she goes on to do, no one knows. But we had Gemma and Abby, and Gemma actually got the chance to actually connect with like another kind of at least partial human, like for the first time in admittedly quite a while. So she got the chance to actually put her own kind of like earthly kind of human knowledge into practice and actually using science and using science with Simmons to actually help and to actually try and prepare her as best as she could and to actually succeed in such a task, which she did. So that was cool. So we had Gemma and Abby. We had Deke having kind of like applied the multiverse into the episode too. He kind of like referenced the multiverse theory and actually referenced like the multiverse being what's kind of like the kind of new kind of sci-fi kind of theorem that's applicable here. So I think he believes that in his universe it was actually Quake that destroyed his Earth and everything. So I think it's presumable that they've actually kind of like traveled, kind of like maybe swapped into alternate timelines. He actually swapped into like an old like traveled into like an alternate universe and everything, which where the Earth has been destroyed at some point down the line, maybe even in the future of that universe. But then maybe at some point down the line, the Earth was destroyed by like a different kind of quake and everything. But because he believes that the Earth was actually quaked apart by Daisy Johnson herself. So clearly not the Daisy Johnson that we know and love and cherish, but a different one who maybe went down like a different, maybe kind of slight more kind of darker path and everything. So there's that. The rest of the team were working with Tess on the trawler to actually go out and kind of collect kind of rocks and collect stuff for I forgot. Did I write down his name? Not Zeph, the guy that killed Zeph. I don't think I wrote down his name. I do not believe I wrote down his name. No, I think it was Grill. I think it might have been Grill. I think Grill or Krill. I think Grill sounds familiar, like either one of those two. So he he kind of had suspicions about the group, so he kind of deliberately sent them out on the actual trawler mission, but then actually sent Zeph after them to keep an eye on them and see what they were going to get up to. And they were not up to anything actually up to code or on point with their actual kind of designated task or anything. They were investigating a radio kind of signal bouncing rock out in space, aptly named 616 after the mainstream Marvel comic canon and everything. So that was a cool Easter egg. But they were investigating a rock that was bouncing off a radio signal that Virgil had presumably been communicating with a hidden communication like radio deck on the trawler and everything. So they unlocked that, and then Zeph found out, and then he was like, "Yeah, well, I don't know what you're doing, but it's definitely not, your actual job. So I'm gonna have to write you up for this, and I'm gonna have to write you up for this, and then report you to the higher ups and all that kind of stuff." But then, came the dilemma wherein Tess and Mac were kind of at like an impasse on what to do with Zeph, with Tess wanting to just kind of unload him onto space and let space take care of him, and then Mac being insistent that they don't kill people in cold blood and they don't really do that kind of thing, and that being like a whole thing, and then in the end, Elena used her Yo-Yo used her speed to frame him for having possessed a weapon under the watchful eye of the Kree and everything. So then Grill said that he would actually report Zeph to the Kree themselves. So this is a really bad recap, isn't it? This is a really bad recap. This is a really kind of slow recap. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I think as of late I suck at recaps. As of late, I think I feel like from episode two onwards, I've just kind of like, and also just like for my videos in general, I think I've just kind of started to really suck at recaps. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. That's just I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's just me trying to remember everything that happened, and then me wondering, should I go into detail? Should I do this in like a really quick and snappy way? But then I don't even know how to do quick and snappy. All I know how to do is ramble and elaborate and over explain and everything. So that's me. So yeah. But yeah, we had that, and then at the very end, Cassius sold Daisy out. But no, Deke sold Daisy out to Cassius. He warned Cassius that Daisy would be finding her way up to him, because that's where Simmons was. So he sold her out, and got his kind of stability wish granted and everything. So now Daisy is in Cassius' position, and now he has the Inhuman Quake. He has Quake, the ultimate Inhuman and everything. So I'm just here for the BioQuake reunion. I'm just here for the BioQuake reunion, like Simmons and Daisy actually reuniting at some point in this episode. I'm just here for that. So whenever they want to get those two back together again, and then they unifically, I'm gonna assume that's a word because I can't be asked to correct myself, unifically break out and bust out and get themselves out and everything. But then that's gonna cause even more of a kerfuffle, and then and then Deke might realize that, oh, actually screwing Daisy over and getting her and Simmons back together again might have been more trouble than it was worth. So might as well just let her do whatever she was gonna do, because then she could still somewhat handle stealth. I mean, she had an awesome elevator fight, which will go down in history, but she's still semi good at stealth when the situation calls for it too. So yeah, but yeah, no. So that is pretty much it. And then I think by the very end of the episode, and like by the very end of the episode, they actually showed that some time has passed, and the team, like Coulson and the rest of the team, have actually kind of adapted to the lighthouse. They've kind of changed their clothes, and they've kind of adapted to that kind of the culture and that kind of climate and everything. So they've actually kind of learned to live with the new times now. So going to be interesting to see where we go from here. Going to be very interesting to see where we actually go from here. So should be fun. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from the last episode. So on to episode number 5 of this season. Episode 4 of season 5. So yeah, and you guys know the drill by now. This one will just be the fair use version of the reaction and stuff. It will be edited. So if you want the full length version, which will be unedited, then that one will be over on Patreon. So you can go check that over there. That'll be just as cool. But yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 5, episode 4. Let's go.
I told you she'd find her way down here.
Oh, he said down, so it's not going up then. It's going this, Cassius place down. That's interesting. There's not actually like some kind of top floor of the lighthouse. He's actually down, further down below.
I rescued humanity.
Oh, is she being drained of blood again?
Did you know that?
Last time this happened, it did not end well.
But a wreckage.
Oh, Daisy's changed too. She's got a new shirt and like a new
But I saw it for what it could be.
I love those little neck scarves. They're really cool. Yeah.
I found them clinging to their gods.
She looks
They're fairy
good.
tales.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this isn't the best
One of
circumstance,
which
but
was
still, she looks
Quake.
good.
I want to believe you, Daisy. May I call you Daisy?
No,
It's a lot less formal than Destroyer of Worlds.
that's true, but no.
You see, word of your presence has piqued much interest. In fact, bidders are on their way.
Bidders. Oh, he's gonna auction off Quake, one of the most famous Inhumans out there. Oh no. Oh. She can't let anything bad happen to Simmons.
Don't you want to make sure it stays that way?
She can't let anything happen to Simmons, especially not magical Sinara's balls. No. Oh god. Oh god.
Little slang I picked up here. Crusher. It's when you.
Go. I get Crusher.
Yeah, I think anyone would get Crusher. It's not the most complex term.
I checked with the guys working the dock.
That jacket really accentuates Max
Daisy hopped the
buffness.
ship to move between levels, but
I assume she didn't.
Again, neck scarf. It looks amazing. The neck scarves are
Possibly.
great. Neck scarves are great.
I've covered every square inch of this floor.
Huh?
You're with me.
Oh god. That's the most unappealing smile I've ever seen on a human being. Oh god.
Have you looked in a mirror?
Don't objectify
beast.
him. Don't you dare
Obi-Wan.
objectify him. He is more than just muscles. They've got a martial artist, what, like an inhuman Bruce Lee?
You're wondering where the meat comes from. Some kind of lab where they grow it or something.
Oh, it's this artificial meat.
Was that just a lucky guess, or did you just read my thoughts?
That's what I got after Terragenesis.
He's telepathic.
You're inhuman.
Yeah.
That's how you anticipated the move.
Ah,
Which
okay.
is not
So he's
cool,
like
by
an
the way,
inhuman
reading
Bruce Lee
people's
then.
minds without
Okay.
permission.
Oh, she has a chip too.
Maybe I
Jeez.
don't feel like performing on cue today.
Oh, God.
Unless you've got peanuts.
Oh, okay.
Here.
A coin? Was it a really valuable coin? Rhodium.
For high value metals. This will be worth more than all your credits upstairs.
Rhodium. I think the name sounds familiar, I think. I'm not sure.
Well, maybe the prophecy wouldn't be such a mystery if you didn't kill everyone that knew anything about it.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yes.
You killed the prophecy off so much that you now are blind to it. I'm sure that can be refashioned into some kind of actual metaphorical idiom or something.
Should you come across any additional time travelers or anyone who helped them, I'd be grateful.
Oh, he knows all of them. He knows all of them.
Generous.
He knows all of them. Oh god, the rhodium. It's all in there. Oh god.
Let me see what I can find for you.
Oh, he knows all of them. Deke, don't do this, please. Deke, come on. I know deep down you're not a bad guy. Come on. I still, you know, it's hard, but I still have faith in you right now. I still have faith in you. It's hard after what you just did, but I have faith in you.
Survival is everything.
This is insane.
This is life.
Oh god, how long have they been at this? How long have they been at this that it's now at the point where this is life?
Pay the price. And if they pit us against each other, I suggest you try to win.
Oh god.
Because I will.
Oh. He reminds me of Colton Haynes a little bit. He reminds me of Colton Haynes, and in this particular context, perhaps Roy Harper as well.
We need to talk.
Say, Deke, how you doing? You look really good. Can we have a word? See?
You looked better before the betrayal.
I was coming to find you guys anyway. Get out of my way. This is what I do. My friend's life is on the line. I'll figure something out.
That sounds like Daisy.
I'm sorry I don't have her. I
God
wish I
damn
did.
it.
It's all right.
Don't fall for this, May. Come on, be more inquisitive than
What do you know
this.
about level 35? We need to investigate the surface.
The surface.
Yeah.
Why not? No, yeah, it'll take too long to get to the center of this.
I know it's an unconventional plan,
What
but
is actually wrong with you people that you keep going places you are not supposed to be going? Are you all very suicidal?
Very, very stubborn. They're very stubborn.
We haven't heard from you in 3 days. Please respond, Virgil.
That's what your buddy was up to, Deke. You didn't know about this?
I need to go get a few things.
Oh, so now you're interested.
Those people up there, if we can find them, that's in everyone's best interest.
Oh, yeah, he was never a true believer until now. He needed evidence. He needed evidence, and now he's got it. Maybe now we can turn him around on having betrayed Daisy, and maybe get her out of there too.
And don't worry, we won't lose ourselves. I promise.
Adapt without losing. Yeah. Oh, there's two other servitors. And both of them taller than her. Unless they're on platforms. Oh, what the hell? What is... I think the tool was the same tool she used to cauterize, right?
Of course, there's no way I can tell for certain if you're being
Oh,
honest.
the inhuman dude. The other inhuman dude. Oh, is he gonna read her thoughts? He's gonna read her mind. Oh, it's like the freaking truth seeker from Supergirl. God damn it.
Who was the woman helping you when you helped Reese?
There were lots of people in the exchange that day. I don't know who they all were.
Oh, he's only gonna protect himself.
They're telling the truth.
Oh, okay, telling the truth. Oh.
Both of them.
Okay. So not selling out May then, because May was with her that day. But then Sinara knows. Sinara saw her. Wouldn't she? Or is he just gonna take the word of him instead? Because Sinara was there. Yeah, no, Sinara knows. Sinara knows that May was there.
Tell us that miraculous story. Spare no detail.
We were alone.
Oh,
one.
she can't even, yeah.
Jeffrey Mace. We went to a diner. We were just talking. when these guys came in and they grabbed us, they knocked us out, and boom.
Is she gonna? Oh yeah, he's gonna make her tell the same story. Yeah.
It had best be a story in perfect accord
Yeah,
with hers.
she has to tell the exact same story, the exact same. Oh god. Okay. Please vibe together. Please vibe. Please.
I was so distraught after our last mission. Daisy took me to a diner to talk alone.
Okay. All
To
right.
make me feel better, I guess.
It's working. All right.
And then these men came.
All right. Keep going.
They grabbed us. They
That's
knocked
it.
us out.
Okay.
And we ended up here.
Great. That's my girl. That's my girls. That's my girls. Yeah. Rock solid vibing. Yeah. Huh. I'm most nervous about Sinara, about what she might find out and what she might do.
My inhuman power. It isn't just reading minds.
He can project thoughts
You
too.
can let other people read your mind too. So you told Simmons what I said.
Yeah.
Ah.
They don't know I can
Okay.
do that.
Ah. Oh. You sneaky. He's sneaky. Okay. Sneaky, but.
That was as close as I've ever been to Cassius. My first chance to read his.
Oh, what's he thinking? What kind of dark shit is he thinking?
He hates this place.
Oh, he hates Earth. He can't wait to get off Earth.
When
Yeah.
his gala is all done, Cassius isn't just leaving.
Destroying.
He wants it all erased,
He's gonna destroy the station.
along with everyone on it.
Maybe it's time we change the rules on his game.
That's what she is, a game changer. So he destroys Earth's history. Now he's destroying Earth's future / present. Oh? What was that?
Roaches.
No,
It's the package meant for Gunner, isn't it?
probably. There's been a lot of vacancies lately.
What's the package?
Be time to start filling them.
Is it a baby? Oh. He has a child. Gunner has a child on the station. No, Mac, you don't know the truth.
You're sick.
No, Mac, you know
Just pay
you
grill and no one will take your
you
stuff.
don't you guys don't know the truth. It's a child.
But if you don't, we'll take that package and we'll throw it in the crusher.
No, Mac, no, you don't know. Fuck me.
Who threatens a child? Who would threaten to tear a baby away from someone when the chance is so rare?
Oh, Mac is losing himself.
Sorry, I didn't know. I didn't see.
Kids are scarce here. Because of people like you who only understand violence and death. I hope you never get the privilege.
Oh.
You'd mess it up anyway.
Oh.
People like you don't deserve a child.
Oh god, Mac. No, Mac. Mac, no. Mac. No, Mac, don't. Fuck Grill, man. Just you know what?
They're using newborns as a commodity?
People don't get pregnant anymore.
What?
Super. And the vibe goes full
They red
dystopian.
roomed humanity?
What did they do? Sterilize the whole population?
We think they do it through the food, so they can decide who has children.
How long?
Fucking.
They've always tried to control. I was one of the last ones that was born the old-fashioned way until
Oh,
Cassius decided it
God.
was easiest to just...
Create the children themselves. But
Oh
why?
no.
They're trying to diversify the human population?
Cassius doesn't care about humans. He just wants to increase the genetic chances they turn
Into Inhumans.
to Inhumans. They're much more valuable that
So controlling exactly how many Inhumans there are, who's the Inhumans?
What is he auctioning off down there?
You think he's selling rocks?
Soldiers.
The whole process is pretty upsetting, so we try not to think about the
It
details.
has to be soldiers and child soldiers. Oh. right in the sniffer.
Hey? Why would you lie about Daisy unless you sold her out?
Okay, well, this is probably the part where I should explain.
No.
Are they using her for breeding?
It seems that way, but that's
Oh,
not
they
why
better
Cassius
fucking
wanted
not.
So you did sell her out?
Yes, but it's more...
Oh, for
Hey,
fuck's sake.
fellas, we were just five, we were actually looking...
Oh, a chair to, chair to the face. Oh, we're fighting. Come on, May. Come on, Mama May. Come on. Yeah, Mama and Papa getting ready to whoop some ass. Ooh, there we go. Oh, yeah, robot hand. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, use their own. Oh. Okay, Deke. Okay, Deke just got shanked. Okay. Oh, there we go. Oh! May versus Sinara. May versus Sinara. Oh, that is gonna be a good one. May versus Sinara. Oh, don't crush, don't crush. Oh, she got flips. She got flips. Oh, jeez. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Oh, the leg. The leg. Oh, God. Try not to use that leg. Oh.
No, snug, not too tight.
Okay. In that case.
Oh, yeah, back to the nose again. Back to the
Really
nose.
need you people to stop doing that. I was 9, okay? When my mother got dragged away and murdered.
Oh.
Cassius got rid of all the elders, all the smart people, and she was one of them.
Oh, she was on the elders.
And after she was gone, my dad took up the cause. And as I got older, I begged him not to. I said that they were gonna get him too, and I was right.
So his parents were within S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's why it was pretty strange to hear his voice.
That was your father?
That was his father on the radio.
If he's alive up there, I don't just want you to succeed.
Oh.
I need to be there when you do.
Oh, his dad could be
It's a
alive.
good story. Stories are what you do.
Yeah, I can't.
So, excuse me if I don't buy it just
God,
yet.
but he's the
You wanna
last
help us?
natural born one.
You're gonna need
yeah.
to prove it.
God, his parents were within S.H.I.E.L.D., so his S.H.I.E.L.D. might be in his ancestry. Yeah, the rhodium. Oh shit. God damn it.
Hey!
Oh, is he welding his shirt?
Any word from May?
Oh, Max welding his shirt. Okay. Oh, the rhodium. Yeah, oh, giving him the rhodium too. Yeah, people who deserve it. People who deserve it. A family that deserves the rhodium. And the mother too. Oh.
He doesn't know what you've lost, of how great of a dad you are.
But what if I'm not?
You were.
Not what?
That was the one good thing about the frame. One of the few good things about the framework. You were a good dad, a great dad.
I survived the pain of losing my real child. But I can't get over the pain of losing a fake one. So what kind of a father does that make me?
Someone who still feels love and grief.
Hope might not have been real, but your love for her was.
Exactly, that love stood the test of time.
Makes you a great father and a good man.
Preach it, Elena.
We'll get through this place intact.
Monster Max!
Someone just break his nose.
Seems like you're twice the beast I thought you were.
You know what? Put him in the crusher.
Glad to have you, Max.
No, throw him down the crusher. Throw Grill down the crusher. He won't be missed.
You've dealt with our newest guest.
Would like to say a few words of welcome.
Oh no. What did she... Oh, she's cleaning up the balls. What did she do with the balls?
A place I've been proud to call home for so long. You
Who's
are
that?
the first to arrive for an exhibition of unbridled powers. One powerful inhuman, long
Quake.
thought gone.
God damn.
Now here to enrich one lucky patron's life.
Oh, Quake. Daisy. I've got to stop calling her Daisy. Daisy. Daisy Johnson. Daisy. Love of my life. Daisy. Daisy Johnson. That's her name. Oh, God. I'm not sure that's even wine. Does he drink blood? Is he that sadistic? Is he that twisted?
Her power will be your power.
Oh, that is her blood! He is that twisted. That is her blood.
Forget your exhibition.
What?
She's the destroyer of worlds.
Who the hell are you to decide that?
She should fight to the death.
Yes! He came back, right? That was Fitz. Okay. Fitz came through. He came back. I think he was sporting like the same Star-Lordy helmet that Deke had, and I think he had like new facial hair too. He'd been growing out something. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! God! Oh jeez. Okay, that was a good one. That was a good one. Oh, that was a great one. Okay, so, so. I think like a pretty dark episode followed by like a highlight. Like a dark episode actually then ended off on a big high note and a big bang, and like a great, I think again, Agents of Shield. I think this among many other episodes, this episode among many other episodes to me proves that Agents of Shield. One of the things that also makes Agents of Shield work is the fact that it's like it's a network show, and as you know, as an unavoidable and inevitable kind of consequence of that, it's also a week by week thing. Because I mean, I can't imagine how different it would be if this was some kind of like all-in-one kind of release thing. I think people would just binge through it, and I think that would I feel like that would definitely, and I think it would, I mean, for one thing, it would be a lot harder to, I mean, it would be relatively harder to actually binge through this, like doing like a live, like if it was actually like if it was a live drop of all the episodes, then it would be relatively harder to binge that thing. But I think it would also kind of like add a bit of like tedium to it, and actually make it kind of like actually take away from what it is, because I think a lot of the the way a lot of the episodes work with the week by week release thing too is that a lot of the episodes actually you know contain like a lot in them that make you think about not only what has happened but what could happen next. I think, you know, like if you were to binge it, I mean, you can binge it now, of course. You can very easily binge it nowadays. But I think if you were to do it back then, and if you were to do it for like first time when it's actually airing live, then I feel like it might take something away from it. So with this one, it's like having the week by week thing, like ending off on an episode like this and having to wait a week to find out what happens next. I think it works perfectly. It works pitch perfectly. And it's like it keeps you wanting that more. It keeps the spark alive. It keeps that kind of hive and that kind of buzz alive as well. And I think it's what really kind of drives the fandom as a whole forward too. And I think even now, as I'm recording this too, I think the latest episode of Hawkeye was just released too. And even that episode kind of contained like some little kind of Shield like Easter eggs here and there, or at least what people kind of saw as Shield Easter eggs. So because of that, Agents of Shield has been trending non-stop because of that. So I mean, hey, we love that for this little show that could, and it could very well. So yeah, I think that kind of stuff really works for this. So yeah, with this episode too, like I think I can only imagine just actually ending off on this note, seeing Fitz at the end right there like that in such glorious fashion. And then having to wait a week to find out exactly what he's been up to. Because I think ending off like on a note like that too, I can only imagine that the next episode is going to have to be from his point of view. Perhaps I think logically speaking, I feel like the next episode may well have to be either entirely from his point of view, or it might have to run through flashbacks of like it might have to crisscross between like actual present day stuff with Fitz and Daisy, and then him kind of him actually retelling her his story from the present day to now of, you know, what happened and everything, and then it would be actually like cut through flash, because they've done that before. They very easily and very flawlessly done that before, so they could easily do it through flashbacks. But I think otherwise it might even be like an entire episode focused on Fitz's story and then what happened to him, because I think now we've had like 4 solid episodes of the team's kind of integration into the future and into this kind of new kind of world and new time and everything. So having just one episode showing exactly what happened to Fitz after that, because then you know, like assuming that he then kind of comes out of his paralysis thing, and then the team around him is gone and he's lost and he doesn't know what to do. So then, you know, the question needs to be asked, because I think he was left behind too. Like it's not like they took him but then just kind of dropped him off somewhere else. Like it's like they actively left him behind because he wasn't on the list. So he was just kind of left behind, and he kind of came to Gemma and the team were gone, so he was lost. So I think, again, just questions raised. What happened to Fitz? What did he do? How did he end up here too? Like, if the monolith really did send them through the future, which it did, then exactly how did Fitz get... I mean, Fitz had to have gotten his hands on that monolith too. He had to have actually, you know, kind of eventually... Because I think he eventually found the truth behind, like, the kind of semi-truth behind the monolith that took Gemma to Marveth and everything. So he has experience hunting down monoliths and their secrets and their, like, what their weaknesses and strengths are and everything. So no doubt in mind he would be able to track down this time monolith too and actually try and find a way to use it to get him back to his team. So yeah, but yeah, that ending though, I'm gonna start with the ending first. That ending Fitz showing up. So I mean, I was kind of curious because again, like, that mask reminded me so much of Deke's. I was like, I'm sure I've seen that mask somewhere before, but then we haven't actually seen Deke wearing it for like a few episodes now. So I was like, you know, but it looks similar. I think it might have been what Deke was wearing, but then would Deke really be? Because I think it was near enough the same getup too. It was actually near enough the same getup. Like, I think Fitz had a neck scarf too. Fitz had like an actual neck scarf. I think I'm just gonna go back to that that kind of shot in the episode, just kind of just for research purposes, just to analyze his look. No other reason at all whatsoever. I swear, I do not care for this. Just go recommended. There we go. Yeah, he's wearing he's got like a similar-ish kind of jacket and a shirt underneath, and he's got a red scarf too. I think the neck scarves. I don't know what it is, but I think it's at least mostly the post-apocalyptic aesthetic of it. Like when stories are set in a post-apocalypse and in like that kind of a background and that kind of a setting, the characters immediately just get like almost like 10 times hotter with like shredded clothes and, you know, like torn clothes and really like makeshift kind of scarves and gloves and bandages. Like they just get 10 times hotter with that kind of stuff. So the team as a whole really leaned into the look. They really leaned into the look. You know, Mac had his new hoodie. May had the really cool fucking neck scarf and everything. Coulson Coulson just had like a basic, like more casual kind of futuristic kind of looking, you know, jacket and shirt look. Daisy had a cool kind of like, you know, torn shirt neck scarf combo, like, you know, like May, Daisy and Fitz are just looking amazing with the neck scarf. The neck scarves make almost anyone hotter. I think that has been scientifically proven here. Neck scarves make anyone hotter. They make anyone hotter. So yeah, so that's good. That's cool. So I think he's wearing like a red one too. Like I think reminds me of like what's his name from Scooby-Doo? Fred. Like Fred. Yeah, he has I think he has like a red ascot. He has a red ascot. So I think it reminds me of that. So I think you know what, Deke, hotter Shield Star-Lord, Fitz in season 5, hotter Space Freddy. Just. That's just how it is. That's just how it works. He's like Freddy from Scooby-Doo, but now in space and hotter because he's in space, and also because he's wearing post-apocalyptic clothes too. He is that is he. That is he. And Daisy could be, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Gemma would be more Velma. I mean, but then Fred and Daphne are together, so then it would she'd have to be Daphne. So yeah, I mean, Daisy could be Daisy and Velma both tech and like tech whizzes and computer whizzes and everything. So they would like, you know, like Velma. I think Velma. I vividly remember Velma easily hacking into stuff and getting into systems and everything. So Daisy could easily be Velma. Daisy could easily be Velma. I do not have the time. I don't know if I can actually sit here and actually think through which members of the team would be various members of the Scooby-Doo gang, of the mystery kind of gang, the Scooby Gang. Even I got it right the first time. I don't know why I changed it. I don't know if I have the time to sit here and actually kind of think about who from S.H.I.E.L.D. would be who from the Scooby Gang, but either way, I think it's clarified. You know, Fitz would be Freddy, and then, you know, Gemma as Daphne. Daisy. I said Daisy. I swear to God, I said Daisy. I have a friend who just got into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's, you know, like at the very, very beginning. So I think I've had to refer to her as Sky for his sake too. So that's why if I slip up from here on out, then just know that's why. You know, I know other people who are at the beginning of their frankly miraculous journeys who have one hell of a roller coaster ride ahead of them. So yeah, so Daisy could be Velma, but then that leaves that leaves Shaggy and Scooby, and I think then maybe Scrappy as well if you're feeling particularly sassy and really petty. But I don't know. But either way, Space Freddy. I don't know what Fred. I think Frederick's is it Jones? Is he Freddy Jones? Let me Google him. Let me Google Freddy from Scooby-Doo. Fred Jones. He's Fred Jones. He's Freddy Jones. I think his name is actually like Frederick as well. His name is actually Frederick. So I think Fred Jones Jr. So yeah, he's Fred Jones. Yeah. So yeah. But he looks amazing. And then even when he took off the helmet too, You know, where's his face? There we go. So he's definitely got like a lot more refined kind of facial hair now. He's definitely got like a lot more refined facial hair. His hair looks shorter. I don't know if that's to do with the mask though. I think that could easily be to do with the helmet, because I think when you wear masks and helmets, like your hair can very easily kind of get more flattened, and years of wearing beanies, I know hair can get very easily flattened and stuff, so it could be because of that. But he has a lot more refined facial hair compared to last time too, so I think it's clearly been time, and also like the stress of having to find his family again has also clearly gotten to him. But yeah, damn, those eyes, as gorgeous as ever. So yeah, digging it. Him, May, Daisy, all three of them, digging it, just digging the crap out of it, digging the treasure chest out of it. So yeah, so he showed up at the very end. He was there at the ceremony where the other auction members were also present. So that was that, and then so he and then I think he said he even called her Quake, the destroyer of worlds. He even called her the destroyer of worlds, and then he said make her fight to the death. So don't know if he actually has some kind of a plan. I think, because again, I think this being the multiverse too, I did question last time whether or not like the Fitz that we see, the Fitz that we meet again in season 5, like at least the first Fitz that we see, like whether or not he would be our Fitz or if he'd be this universe Fitz, like assuming the multiverse thing is still in play and this is like another universe. Then I mean, thinking about it more now, I think I really don't know, like I don't know just how possible it might be, but I'm still kind of willing to see where they take it and see if they do go through with it and see like what actually happens and how far they take it and everything. But still kind of ever so skeptical, because I think the multiverse stuff is really happening with the larger MCU, with the movies and everything, like with No Way Home and Doctor Strange and everything. So like that, it's really being cemented there. But then I think it does still kind of stand to reason that like even if they were doing a multiverse thing, then they could also like for comfort's sake and maybe even for budget's sake too, maybe they could also try and trying to be kind of doing it on like a smaller scale for the TV show, maybe actually just kind of actually limiting it to the story that they've got going on now, instead of actually trying to do all these doppelgangers and other dimensions and other kind of things and everything and stuff. So yeah, I think speaking of dimensions, I think that reminded me of Robbie's line in the finale too, and then the season 4 finale. Like he mentioned how Earth was just one territory in a war that had been raging on forever, and it's still going on, and it's just one territory in that kind of war. But then he also talked about Earth and Hell is how it's like descriptively relative, but also like in terms of actual location is relative too. Like it could be other planets, it could be other dimensions, anything that really matches up to that kind of viewpoint of what hell is, then it could easily be that. I think especially if there are people still on the surface, which we know now there are, like, you know, the fact that there are people on the surface means that there are people still somehow managing to inhabit a literally like 30-40% of what's left of a planet Earth and everything. And I've been curious about that, right? Like, would the shape that the Earth is in now, if we can even call it a shape, like Earth has been destroyed to the point where, you know, there's literally one like that's the circle, that's what's left. So this is Earth, this is the circle that is Earth. You know, what's left is this little chunk right here with like some inner core right around here and then some crust and all that kind of stuff. Like that's what's left. So clearly the rest, like this much being left, and you know, like the Earth's shape itself being crunched down to this would mean that the proportions are way out of order. So then wouldn't stuff like, you know, like wouldn't the atmosphere then be torn, like ripped to shreds because of that then? Because then like the atmosphere is, I think like the atmosphere of Earth is meant to encapsulate the actual spherical kind of size of Earth. So then wouldn't the Earth losing its spherical integrity mean that the atmosphere itself is actually ripped away, and that kind of leaves the surface fully uninhabitable? Because then we saw in the last episode, like at the end of the last episode, we saw Zev on the surface too, and he was there, and then he was then captured by roaches. So yeah, I think the shape of Earth makes me kind of believe and makes me feel like, you know, like surface level habitation just shouldn't be possible. It shouldn't be kind of it shouldn't be possible, but maybe through some miracle it is. But then even then, it's like, you know, if there are people living on the Earth, then how are they doing it? Because then Zev was out in the open too. He was out in the open kind of wasteland before he was kind of consumed by the roaches. But then the people like that were talking to Zev too, they kind of have got to be smarter and a lot more prepared. They've got to be in their own little base somewhere that's kind of actually safe from the roaches and everything. So, you know, kind of raises questions like that. But then, yeah, I think, like, yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, because then I think even from the surface, there is definitely enough space from the surface downwards. There is definitely enough space for them to kind of maybe build their own makeshift kind of bunker, or another one for them after they were sent to the surface by the Kree for being elders and stuff. And maybe that's where the elders are too. Maybe the ones, maybe like Cassius killed them, but then he killed them by kind of banishing them to the surface of the earth, and then actually setting the roaches on them too. So then maybe some of them, maybe some of them died, maybe some of them were murdered, but then some of them actually managed to escape, and they managed to kind of establish some kind of like a base like beneath the ground and everything. So I don't know, just a lot of thoughts firing off in my head. I mean, it's not unusual. I always have a lot of thoughts, and I you know, have a habit of actually, you know, jumping from point A to point B to point C in the space of like 5-10 minutes, which is just how my ADHD real mind works. But yeah, no, just wow, just it's a lot to think about. It's a lot. At least for me. It's a lot to think about. For me, it's quite a bit to think about. So yeah. So yeah, I think going back to Fitz for just a second, I don't know exactly what his plan is. If he is really gonna kind of bust Daisy out there, if maybe to him making Daisy fight is the actual key to getting her out of there too. Like maybe actually if she wins, then she clearly has to go off somewhere else to be prepared and freshened up to be sold off and everything. So then maybe then he's gonna sneak in and knock someone out, and then actually sneak her out and everything. But then that's gonna cause a kerfuffle, because then they're gonna be waiting for Daisy to get back, and then she's not, and then they're gonna go investigate, and then and everything. So maybe that's his plan. But no, yeah, he's definitely a man with impeccable timing. He's definitely a man with impeccable timing. So you gotta give him that. But then Gemma's there too. Gemma is I mean, Gemma was. I don't know if Gemma was there in that scene. If maybe if the servitors were kind of, you know, out of the room or something. But Gemma and this new Fitz, when Gemma sees this new Fitz, oh my god, she is gonna rip that silver thing right out of her and start screaming on top of her lungs again. You know, Gemma and Fitz, you know, Gemma and Daisy is one thing, of course. Gemma and Daisy's one thing, but then Gemma and Fitz, that's gonna, you know, the Bus Kids reuniting. That's what we need. That's what we need in the next episode. The Bus Kids reuniting and busting the crap out of Cassius' lair and just tearing the whole thing down. You know, like that is what we need in the next episode. The Bus Kids reunite and they get shit done. So give me that season 5 Bus Kids reunion. Give me the Bus Kids reunion. So yeah, I'm here for it. But yeah, there was some really dark stuff explored in this. That was some really heavy stuff. It shocked me to my core. And it really kind of, I think, almost each new episode of the season so far, I think we're only 4 episodes in, so it's really not saying a lot. It's not really saying a lot, and it's also like really, you know, like almost too soon to tell. But even then, even 4 episodes in, and we're already doing this, I think it's really kind of showing just how much deeper and how much heavier this season's going to go with the story and everything. So they're like the way they're doing this whole kind of like just how much humanity has changed and how much humanity has suffered at the hands of Cassius and his people, and just how much they've been forced to adapt and change and survive, and the things that they've been made to do to each other in order to survive is just, you know, again, it's like Max said too. It's like, you know, like Cassius isn't preserving humanity's actual spirit or their actual kind of soul or anything, but he's preserving he's literally going as far as he can to preserve material humanity, like the actual physicality of humanity and stuff. But in the end, actually making them kind of compete and fight and do whatever it takes to survive under his kind of watchful eye and everything. So Cassius is the worst. He is the worst. But yeah, they poured a red room on all of humanity. They poured a red room on all of humanity and sterilized them. So I think I assume that means pretty much everyone, both men and women and everyone else too. So, you know, like they sterilized them. So I think so then humans themselves can't have kids. Humans themselves can't have children. So then I think I can't remember if they actually mentioned like how kids were still created. I think these must be test tube babies, right? Or like these must be like, yeah, I think they've got to be test tube babies. I think it must be like human DNA still taken from humans, and then put into like actual Kree laboratories with their advanced tech and everything, and then actually made it into test tube babies. So yeah, pretty. Good God. And then the fact that scene played over, the fact that scene, that reveal scene weaved in and out of like Mac's kind of really kind of badly timed and badly worded kind of confrontation with Gunnar too, that killed me. So yeah, so Kasaya sterilized humanity, and then he started to control exactly how and when humans were born, and he did it in a way that he could control it. He did it in a way that he could implant pterogenesis into them too. So I think I'm assuming that means that then like all the new kids born must be Inhumans, right? Because then he needs more Inhumans to raise and to train and to auction off and everything. So he keeps creating genetically modified test tube babies, gives them powers, and then allows them to grow up for a few years, and hopes that they're trained and taught to use their powers, and then in the end he makes them perform, and then he auctions them off and everything. He just, oh God, this hurts my heart, my soul, and my brain. It hurts all three. They're like both organs and the one spiritual kind of entity within me. This just hurts to have to actually kind of look into, and actually have to kind of process and digest and everything. It's just like that whole concept of that. And too, I think again it goes to show that like those like especially those kids, like the kids like Abby, because I mean even Abby mentioned that she was lucky, like she was one of the lucky ones, because I think she said that there were other kids with her that were tested for pterogenesis, but then she was one of the lucky ones. I think that kind of like, to my knowledge, like she didn't specify that no one else was transformed, but then she also just said that she was one of the lucky ones. So then, or at least like the lucky one. So don't know if that means that some of the babies still are not like not given pterogenesis, or not like not given Kree blood for pterogenesis or anything. So don't know how that one works, but Abby was one of them, and then also similar kids and teenagers who are transformed like the way that she was are then thrust into war. So I think, well, I mean, on the one hand, I feel like, on the other hand, I feel like it's not, it's like including war and not exclusively war, because then even on his side, he has humans who are kidnapped and kind of forced to be his servitors, his servants. He has Gemma and like 2 other humans as his servitors. So then maybe even for Lady Barsha, maybe that could be it too, I think. But then the fact that they have powers too, I think especially like the fact that they have powers, but then also the fact that Inhumans have already been established to have been created solely for like their original designs and their original purpose was to be cannon fodder, to actually be soldiers in the Kree's war against whoever the hell they were fighting. So then, him making like Inhumans perform and then auctioning them off and selling them off to various people doesn't really kind of scream servant or public service to me. So seems a lot more like he's actually selling them off to be soldiers in any shape or form that the buyer requires and everything. So Jesus Christ. So yeah, and I think I mean to be honest, like that whole topic is hard to think about, but then it's also like it's not just them, but it's also I think Grill was involved too. I think Grill I actually can't tell if Grill I can't tell exactly if Grill I can't remember if Grill said anything that implied or kind of stated that he was directly involved. But I think he knew about Gunner's package and everything, and I think he told Mac to tell Gunner, like, if he doesn't comply, then his package could be taken away and it can be destroyed or something as fucked up as that. But yeah, no, so then even like even to the human, I think that must then be what it is. I think that like children are then sold to the humans on the actual kind of like on the more like working class levels, and then they're raised and then they're trained, and then if they're inhuman and then trained, and then they're actually taken back by Cassius to train even harder and then perform and everything. So but to think about that too, like the fact that humanity was actually sterilized to that degree, to the fact that to the point where like they literally have to buy their children and stuff, and they're actually sold out, and then to think of all the shit that they go through just for that, and then even afterwards, like, they raise them for like a few years, and then if they show signs of being inhuman, and then when they show signs of being inhuman, then their kids are just ripped away from them and like never to be seen again, and then for their for their troubles, they're compensated to do like if their children perform admirably, and if their children actually perform well enough to go on to be bought by someone, then the families are paid off again after that too. And I think that might be rhodium too. I think the coin that Deke was paid for having handed over Daisy to Kazais, I think it looked similar to the case that we saw last episode, so it must be like a shit ton of rhodium. Like that one was like an actual shit ton of rhodium. So this one coin of rhodium is worth more than all of his credits up top. So yeah, but yeah, just to think that that's what humanity actually goes through in this like new kind of time, that they can't have their own kids, and then they have to buy the kids, and then all the stuff that they have to worry about going through too. Like, oh, if our kid is inhuman, they get powers, then they can't even hide it either, because then the Kree would absolutely come and do kind of tests and different kind of searches and different inspections and try and see if the kids are inhuman. So then if they did, then for one thing they still get taken away, but then the parents might also be punished even further for having lied or kept it a secret. So oh god. So it's like they really are just kind of really driving home the like dystopian with a capital D kind of vibe of this entire kind of like first, at least the first quarter of the season. Because I don't know like how much more of this season might be dedicated to the actual kind of to the station, because to the lighthouse, because I think it's a lot different compared to having the playground on Earth, because then with the playground, like they can still safely go outside and actually inhabit other countries and other areas of the world. But with this one, like it's like they're literally confined to a space station, and then that can be fun, but still it does kind of keep you wondering, are we going to spend the entire season here? Because then like that's still like 20 episodes on board like a space station. So then there's that whole thing. So. And then an interesting little tidbit about Deke, or at least like a couple of different interesting kind of bits of info about Deke. He was humanity's last natural birth. He was humanity's last natural birth in likely years, and everything. And that reminded me of because that is exactly what they explored in Man of Steel 2. Like in Man of Steel, like their genetic engineering allowed them to create babies and create children specifically and solely designed for the purpose of various kind of roles throughout society. But then Kal-El was Krypton's last natural birth, the last because it was so close to their destruction. But then also like their first natural birth in centuries. Because then once they discovered that technology, and then their ability to also kind of cater Krypton's future like generation to all these different kind of roles in society, and actually crafting that meticulous of an actual society on Krypton, they stopped having natural births altogether. So then Kal-El was the first and last one that there was. He's a natural birth. So, I mean, Deke mentioning that kind of reminding that, but then he is the last of humanity's natural borns, and he was born on the station too. I think that is something that, and I think he's like in his I think he's in his like in his 20s now, so I think he's lived here for that long, and he's also the last one, because then they've clearly been doing this a while too. They've clearly been doing this for quite a few years, like decades, maybe more, and everything. So that really raises some questions. But then he also, I think he values himself because he knows he's the last of what humanity used to be and everything. But then he's also, I think, and I think that's like an interesting kind of analysis of his character too. I think despite all of it, despite all that he's done, I think that is like both despite and because of what he's done, I think that is like that is an interesting way to look at his character. Like the fact that he is essentially, he is the last of what humanity used to be, but now, just like everyone else, he's adapted, he's, conditioned himself, and he's made himself out to, to be this completely different person to who he was before. So that kind of changes him, and that kind of has changed him to become like slightly worse as a person and stuff. So there's that. And I feel like in this episode, as the episodes have gone by, you definitely felt it. But I think in this one, especially, you can feel Deke's pain, his pain. his pain at being who he is, at being what he is, but also just overall his pain at having to deal with the team. Because even now, I think it's fair to say that they've adapted. It's fair to say that they've started to adapt. They've started to adapt, and they start to acclimate themselves into what the station is, and what the atmosphere is, and how people should be, and how things should be. But to say that they've adapted and have understood fully would not be accurate at all. So like they are still the same inquisitive minds from years back when things were simpler for them and stuff like that. So now it's like as of right now, their minds are all still too inquisitive to be kind of easily blendable or passable on the lighthouse and everything to actually survive and everything. So because of that, like Deke, as the episodes have gone by, I think looking back on it too, I think it's just easy to see that Deke has just been in pain having to deal with a team that's so stubborn and so inquisitive and so curious and so eager to get themselves into trouble and actually get themselves into more difficult situations and everything. And so he just is done with it. But then there's there is a much deeper place that kind of pain comes from too, where it's he is reiterating to them time and time again that one wrong move and humanity will die for good, and he's lost enough already. He lost his mother. He said his mother was his mother was one of the believers and I think one of the elders of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. So his mother actually used to be like an actual S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and his dad is still alive. We don't know his mother used to be a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but I think she used to be someone who was someone who used to actually I think be an elder and or actually spread their stories and everything. So she used to be an actual true believer and actually used to be one of them. So I think it's fair to say that her his mother must have held some kind of a fairly important rank within S.H.I.E.L.D. But then she was killed. She was killed by Cassius, I think. Along with the rest of them, but then his dad is still alive, and he even said that his dad's voice was the one on the radio that was actually talking to Virgil. His dad was the one talking to Virgil. So then his dad is still alive, and he's on the surface and everything. So that kind of brings the stakes even higher for Deke as well. He hasn't heard his dad's voice in years, and all of a sudden he finds out that not only has Virgil been talking to people on the surface of the earth, but then one of those people is actually Deke's dad, whom he thought was dead. So yeah, don't know if I even used whom correctly in that one, but either way, I don't care. But yeah, Deke, I think on the one hand, Deke has just kind of had this kind of somewhat kind of funny to watch kind of annoyance towards the S.H.I.E.L.D. team at their kind of inability to avoid trouble and their ability to draw attention so easily and to be so stubborn and foolish about it. But then on the other hand, there's an actual more kind of sincere pain that comes from them just not listening to him and him kind of trying so hard to keep them in line and to actually keep them from destroying what's left and to keep humanity from actually losing what's left of themselves. So there's in that sense, I think there's a nice kind of duality to him too. Like him on the one hand, he can be like an equally sassy and kind of annoyed kind of space dude, but then on the other hand, he is the last of one of humanity's most precious kind of creations, and he has lost so much at the hands of the Kree, and these people on the space station now are pretty much all he's got. So now he needs to fight even harder to protect them, and he's gonna be damned if after all this time he's gonna be damned if he actually lets some kind of S.H.I.E.L.D. team from the past actually come to the future and screw everything up for him and everyone else. So there's that. But now with Deke himself, I think things have definitely changed too. I think with Deke, I think upon finding out that his father is potentially alive on the surface of the earth, I think he definitely is kind of a bit more on board with their plan to do things and actually get the ball rolling. So yeah, Deke, poor Deke. And I think I think his stories too of him knowing that his mother spouting and spreading all those messages and all those stories about S.H.I.E.L.D. was what got her killed, but then his dad then insisted on picking up the torch, and he grew up begging him not to as well. He was 9. I think he said he was 9 when she was killed. He was 9 when she was actually killed. So then he grew into his teenage years and into his adolescence, begging his dad not to do the same thing, and then his dad did the same thing. And then I think presumably he got dragged away and killed too. But now he realizes that it was likely only a week or two ago that Virgil was talking to his dad and exchanging information about the S.H.I.E.L.D. team coming in from the past and everything. So it changed. I can't remember exactly. I can't remember exactly how they worded it in a previous episode. But I think in the beginning of the season they definitely kind of mentioned him him definitely not being a true believer, but then him also like not really kind of like not really buying into this story, and like unless there was some evidence that would really kind of change his mind and change the tides in his mind and everything. So with this one, hearing his own dad's voice asking for Virgil and actually confirming the presence of the Shield agents would be pretty life changing and tide changing and table turning kind of evidence. So now he's fully on board. If it means he gets to see his dad again and actually save his dad and do stuff, then that means that, you know, he can easily he can very easily fall in love with the story and see where it leads him. So yeah. So then in the end, I mean, Deke didn't do it. I think Coulson took the rhodium, because I think he handed Coulson the rhodium, so Coulson took the rhodium from him, and then I think that they welded the door shut on Deke's kind of room and everything. So now he's been forced to stay behind if they want to continue their mission with some sense of peace and unity and sanity and everything. So there's that. But then they didn't even keep the rhodium for themselves. They did not keep the rhodium for themselves because they didn't feel like they needed it. But then they gave it to someone far more deserving, and that was Gunnar. That was Gunnar and his wife and his new child and everything. Like, you know, like that they received the child. I refuse to call it a package. Like they received the child. They received the child safe and sound, and his wife was presumably his wife was actually holding the baby and everything. So now they've got their family, and then, you know, Gunnar himself got that 1 coin of radium, and I think the same rule can and should very easily apply for him, as is for Deke too. Like 1 coin of rhodium worth more than any of their credits upstairs and everything. So now, like, that 1 coin of rhodium can easily get them anything and everything they need. So yeah, good for Gunnar, even though we had some really depressing stuff with him beforehand, but still, good for Gunnar, great for Gunnar and his family, like, they absolutely deserve anything. I'm hoping we can see some similar acts of kindness and justice kind of being given to other kind of equally, like, unfortunate families, across the lighthouse too, so we'll see. And speaking of Gunnar and his family, that stuff with Gunnar and Mac, that was hard to watch, and again, expertly edited and interwoven between the reveal of the package and Gunnar's truth and the reason that Mac and Elena were sent there in the first place too. I think Grill, it goes without saying, I hated him before because he was a dick, but with this, he's just a monster. He is an absolute monster. He deserves to be pushed down that crusher and turned into whatever kind of mush that, you know, the crusher can produce and everything. He is just, I think you know, Mac definitely mentioned the package because Gunnar told him about it. So because Grill told him about it. So Grill definitely knew the package, and he, knowing him, he would probably also know that it was actually like a child that Gunnar and his wife were expecting in a much more unorthodox kind of way. So he must have definitely known. He didn't care. He just wanted his money. He's a sadistic kind of greedy, you know, low-level corporate arsehole who just wants his money and everything, so he could not care less. But yeah, no. So he sent them then knowing that information. I think he's probably sent them knowing that that information would probably come in handy in like a really twisted way and everything. So he hoped that Mac, being as big as he, I think he just happily physically objectifying Mac too, to seeing like nothing but big hunks of muscle all clubbed together and, you know, conjoined and bonded and everything. So he sees nothing, and he sees Mac as nothing more than like a walking bodyguard or like muscle for hire, pretty much. Just, you know, obviously like in like a much less funny way, like that leaves Mac like kind of feeling horrified too, because then if that is what Grill sees him as, then like how many more times could he use him for this? Like how many more times could he send Mac out on another mission to terrify someone, but then that person is just like another person, another human being on board, looking out for their family, trying to find a way to stay alive and provide and everything. And it's like, humanity has been turned on each other in this story, in this season, in the worst, but in one of the worst possible ways. So yeah, but then seeing Gunnar too, actually meeting Gunnar and threatening him too. I think Helena probably should have stuck with the threatening, because then I mean, granted, Helena had been pushed out of the way, and then the focus was between Mac and Gunnar and everything. So then that gave her time to scan the environment and see the baby stuff on the floor and everything. So then I think, and honestly, right, I feel I'm just gonna say this, right, I feel like Mac should have been so much more careful with his words. Like you can also very easily threaten someone without using such violent terms and such and using such kind of harsh language too, like actually saying like, oh, I'm gonna put your package through the crusher too. I think again of course he didn't know any better. He literally did not know the actual context of what the package was, so he did not know to really not talk about it that way. But then still, I think I feel like he is, I mean, he easily could have been a bit more softcore with his actual words and actually used he could have easily used like an intimidating voice and a tone over really passive aggressive words too. That would have worked fine. That like a passive aggressive words mixed with like an intimidating kind of towering stance and like an actual like angry eyebrows and everything would have worked fine too. No need to mention crushing or smushing or mushing or whatever. But yeah, but then of course for story's sake, that has to roll out that way, and then Mac realizes the truth. And then he tries to apologize. He tries to apologize and take back what he said. But then Gunner is not having it. Gunner Gunner stood there, and in Gunner's defense, he stood there and took 10 seconds of actual verbal abuse against his child from Mac, so he is not really willing to let that slide in any shape or form. So he is more than happy to kind of call Mac out and call Mac out and actually just call him like a terrible father and like a terrible human being as a whole, and stuff. Which again doesn't know any better. But then Gunner goes too deep too. First, Mac goes too deep without knowing, and then also equally without knowing, Gunner goes in too deep too and actually mentions how he'd be a terrible father and he doesn't deserve to have a child, and how he doesn't really, if that's how he if that's how he treats other people's children, then he doesn't have to deserve to be a father of his own right, and then he doesn't have to and then he doesn't deserve to raise a child under his own roof too. I think as soon as that kind of referencing towards hope began, I knew either Mac is going to storm out in the most terrifying ways, or he's actually going to try and beat the crap out of Gunner, which he did go for the latter. He did go straight for the latter. He did actually punch the crap out of him, but then that didn't help his case either. Because then it just kind of proved Gunner's kind of theories and his kind of view of Mac as someone who is too violent and too dangerous to be around children or to be around other people. And then comes the discussion between Mac and Elena too. Him feeling even worse, knowing that his love for the fake hope within the framework was more real and more fleshed out than his love for the real hope. And I think it's and I think especially as like an audience member too, it's equally easy to say that he should not feel guilty for that, because he shouldn't. He really shouldn't. I think he feels guilty because of the fact that his love for the real hope that only lasted 2 or 3 days lasted a lot longer, and lasted a lot less longer, and was also practically nothing compared to the love that he felt for hope. But then that hope was pretty much based off of the real life hope too. Was actually meant to be the kid that he wanted, the kid that he was going to have with Nicole, and the kid that was eventually born. But then this one actually managed to survive and managed to grow into like an adorable, hopeful, optimistic kind of teenager and everything in a world ruined by fascism and hate and chaos and everything. So and I think again, Yo-Yo speaking on behalf of the fandom too, and being for one thing, you are an incredible father and a great man. If anything, that's what your time in the framework proved. But then also the fact that you had a lot more time with the hope in the framework. You had a lot more time with it. You made more memories with it. You rightfully so had a lot more kind of love to share with her than you had with the real hope. But then it's also the same hope. That what matters there is the love, because it is basically the exact same hope, only one of them actually got to live a bit more of a fruitful life and everything. So then that kind of that world literally fixed his one regret. He literally fixed his one regret and everything. So to be honest, the regret thing doesn't some of the ways some of the regrets don't make a huge amount of sense to me. I think maybe it's because I'm taking it in too much of a literal way and not maybe in a connected or a metaphorical way. But either way, it was meant to fix his regret, and then that was actually and then that kind of brought hope back to him in the framework. So then that allowed him to be the father he always wanted to be, and the one that he always knew he could be deep down. And everything. So Yo-Yo reminding Mac of that too was really good to see, and actually reassuring him that he made a mistake today. He made a mistake. He acted too harshly. He made a terrible judgment call, and then he paid the price for it. And then he actually kind of acted even further, and he kind of let himself go. He let himself go into the same kind of violence and darkness. And he mentioned it too, the irony of him warning her to not kind of fall victim to the darkness, only for him to be the first one that does it too. So there was that. But yeah, Yo-Yo actually taking time to remind him that, like what Gunnar said about him isn't true. And it's like Gunnar doesn't know him the same way that he didn't know about Gunnar, and the fact that him and his partner were trying for a baby and everything, or at least trying to get a baby, trying to get a baby in this society. So he didn't know about Gunnar didn't know about him. They both kind of acted upon impulse and emotion and everything. So the real person to blame, again, Grill, Grill, who decided to show his his piss ass ugly little mug at the very end, and even further objectifying Mac and being like, oh yeah, I should have known. You actually really showed him who the real beast and who the real big bad beast in this story was. So good on you, Mac, for actually doing what I told you to do and actually scaring him and doing that piece and everything. So yeah, just goddamn, but yeah, Mac, yeah, feeling for him, and also feeling for Gunnar too, but feeling happier for Gunnar and his partner for actually gonna be being, and now being potentially set for life too, with that one rhodium coin that they can hopefully trade wisely and responsibly and actually do some good with it. So yeah, good stuff. And then yeah, we had the other guy, the telepathic inhuman, telepathic in like an actual two-way street too. He can read other people's thoughts, but then he can also project his thoughts into other people as well. So yeah, he saved Daisy and Simmons. He saved Daisy and Simmons right there, and he listened to everything that Casais was saying, and he projected those in. Like he pretty much actually translated that into thing. I think especially when Casais actually moved in front of Daisy too, because I think he kind of thought that maybe Gemma would actually try and lip read too. So I think it was like a smart enough move. I think, don't know if Gemma can lip read, but then just in case, as a precaution, just actually stepping in front of her to make sure she can't read her girl's lips and everything. Cassius and the other Creed do not know that that guy. I don't know if we even got a name for him, but I think that guy cannot. They don't know that guy can actually project his own thoughts into other people's heads as well as actually reading other people's thoughts. So yeah, he saved Daisy and Simmons' life. They actually telling Simmons exactly what he was saying so that she could repeat that story at the same time too. So I mean, part of me feels like it should. I mean, on the one hand, right, it doesn't. For me, it doesn't disprove any connectivity they might have. It like, I think in that case the connection between them was actually the telepathic guy. So then it still exists. But then for me, I'm pretty like I still feel like they're still well enough kind of connected to I mean it's strong enough of a connection that it's definitely like it's definitely. For me, it's strong enough of a connection between them that they can easily pass it off. Like, I think the story that Daisy gave was still plausible enough for Gemma to actually give it off passably too, because I think even the first one that they did, like they said that no one else was there, but then Sinara was there and she knew that May was present too, so then she they're lying through their teeth, but then they can actually Daisy can actually say that Daisy then actually started talking to him about how they were captured and then the framework and everything, and then he said spare no details, and then she didn't, and then she kind of gave him somewhat like an altered version of the truth and everything. So not 100% a lie, but also just not necessarily 100% the truth. So yeah, and then Sims is able to give off that same story too, so it kind of works for the time being. But then next time he might not be in the room with them, so then they'd have to really connect, and then do their thing. So yeah, but that guy was cool. Too. So hopefully he doesn't really have too much bad happen to him. So yeah. But then yeah, Cassius actually has a secret desire too. Cassius actually hates Earth, and I think even it also doesn't help that Lady Bush actually constantly refers to it as a grim little rock that he's carved out for himself in this galaxy and everything. So he even hates what's left of Earth. He even hates what's left of Earth. So he wants to, like, as soon as an auction comes along and like as soon as an auction happens that is good enough to leave him set for life, he wants to leave Earth behind. But he doesn't just want to leave Earth behind, he wants to destroy the lighthouse. He wants to destroy what's left of humanity, and he wants to destroy what's left of the Earth, so then making sure that even what's left of Earth just kind of falls out of orbit in pieces and everything. So, and then he also wants to take out what's left of humanity too. So he hates Earth and his current position in the universe that much that he actually wants to wipe them all out. So yeah, that is going to be a not so fun evil villain plan to look forward to, so that's cool. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got. I think that's all I've written down. If I have missed out anything, if I have missed out any details or gotten something wrong, then absolutely feel free to let me know in the comments. And as always, let me know what you thought too. Let me know what you thought that ending of our boy, our little Scottish baby boy Fitz popping in finally after all these years. It's been, for all we know, this opening story of season 5 could easily be an episode by episode reenactment of the 84 years meme from Titanic. Like, oh, it's been 84 years. Like, it could literally be like a reenactment of that thing. Like, it could literally have been 84 years from when they were. So they might not even be that far into the future either. Like, I think they could still very well be within like the 20 kind of like the actual 2000s and everything. Like, just like the far later 2000s and everything. So it could easily be 84 years into the future. If it is, I will die. I will die that they actually managed to actually bring that meme to life in this. But either way, it could be a lot further than it could be a lot further than they used to, but still just like not far enough to actually make it that kind of implausible. But still, so there's that. So yeah, I think so that is pretty much all I've got from this one. So yeah, I think did I actually mention anything else? I think I can't remember. Again, well, yeah, it's just anything I've missed out on. Anything you feel like I've missed out on. Anything you feel like I've missed out on, or anything you want to bring up, then comments are open. Have at them. And yeah, I can't wait to see the next one. I really cannot wait to see the next one. So yeah, that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So thank you guys, as always, so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Once again, the full-length reaction over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you guys next time.